journaling time.
Ooh, what's up, party people? You may notice we're in some different digs today. We are coming to you live from beautiful Toluca Lake, California at Alex's mom's house. All right. Yeah. Well, you know what? Sometimes you got to pull an audible. Our internet went out this week, and AT&T isn't going to show up for a few days, so we're figuring it out. You know, you got to adapt. That's life. And I think speaking of life, we've got a lot of crazy things going on in the world. We've been talking about that a lot lately, and actually we've got a really awesome program for you this evening. Alex and I co-authored this program, and it was actually, we had the idea come up during last week's Journal Party Live, where, I think Alex said, you got to protect your peace, and was like, yeah, we got to make a program about that. And so here we are, and we're going to be writing together about protecting our peace. See, we got some people showing up. Definitely do say hello in the chat so we know who's here. Put our little welcome message there. All right. Got Sherry's in the house. What's up, Sherry? Got you on the big screen.
Okay.
We love to hear it. Two failed actors over here.
Yes. Our dreams are coming true.
What's up, Geeky Witch?
Hello.
Deidre's here.
Hi there.
Pivot and keep moving forward. Yeah,
exactly. We weren't going to miss this week, so we made it work.
Yeah. Yeah, I was ready to take a break. I was like, we can't. We're going to my mom's house.
We're doing it.
All right. Linda's in the house.
Hello.
What's up, Linda? Carrie's here. Glad to be here tonight. Glad to be cozied up in my warm house in the Hudson Valley.
Oh, nice.
We're sharing a mic tonight. Hopefully, let us know if we're not talking into it loud enough or if we got to reposition it. But it seems like we're being heard here. What's up, Kathy? Good evening.
Hello.
Got Mary's in the house.
Yes.
Sweet.
Mary.
All right. Give everyone just a couple more minutes to trickle in, and we'll get rocking.
Yeah.
Let us know what you've been up to this week. How are you all protecting your peace?
Exactly.
Hopefully well.
Hello.
Hello. What's up,
Good
Nahal?
to see you. That's right. Yep.
Yep.
It's a must. Always.
I think I chose right. She keeps me on track, Good stuff. I was gonna say, what was that quote? It was like, behind every successful man, there's a woman telling him, keeping him on track or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I didn't want to make it about like men only being successful.
Yeah.
But
it's true. It's true.
Well, you are for sure my muse and my inspiration often. So.
Mm-hmm.
Patty says, good to see everyone. Patty in the house.
Hi, Patty.
What's up?
Hello, Mom.
Shelly and Betty
My
here.
mom and her dog in the other room. Thank you again for letting us use your home.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
It's a lovely home, too.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right. I didn't know that's how you spelled Betty.
Mm-hmm.
It's like French.
Or like, there's Betty Davis.
Betty Davis. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's that?
The actress. She's a famous old Hollywood actress.
Alex loves old Hollywood.
I do.
You should do like an old Hollywood themed, because we have all sorts of like mental health and personal growth. We need more fun ones.
Okay. Well, if anyone's interested, let me know. I'll think about it. I'm not quite sure how I'd incorporate that into journaling, but we'll see.
I mean, I think, even if you were just like taking inspiration, because like I know one of the things you admire is like some of the grace and the poise of like all the old Hollywood and stuff, so you could be like inspired. It doesn't have
the glamour.
Don't let me
the
write
glamour. Oh, nice. Carrie likes the old movies too. I love it.
Awesome. All right, folks. Well, it's 5 after. We've got a decent but intimate crowd here this evening, and all right. Well, I'm glad Terry's appreciating
it.
Yes,
thank you, Terry. Appreciate the
selfishly,
feedback.
We do it for ourselves too, So I'm glad you guys are all getting something out of it. But don't think that we don't. We absolutely, this is cathartic for us and absolutely necessary.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks. Well, let's get our show on the road here. So we've got like I said, Alex and I co-authored this evening's program. And so we got 5 prompts for you. We're going to be doing 4 minutes per prompt for a total of 20 minutes of guided journaling. And tonight's all about protecting your peace. So we've got some different questions we're going to throw at you. Going to ask you to, identify what's going on. Try to figure out, how you feel in these situations when you're thrown off track, and ultimately try to figure out how to make some sense out of it and what to do with it. So this is your journey. Don't let us over influence what you write. I think the best thing to do is just read the prompts and see what flows out of your pen. See what comes out. If you're not really sure what to answer, sometimes I just start writing the question, and once I'm moving with the pen, then the rest of the answers seem to come. And then, of course, at the end, we will all hang out and share our insights and try to emerge a little bit better off after having done this process. And so with that said, I think we're about ready to get this party started. Girl Alex, do you want to do odds or evens?
I will start us off. So I will do odds.
All right. So Alex and I will take turns reading the prompts and journaling alongside you. And then, like I said, at the very end, we will all hang out. So real quick, let me go ahead and change our little ticker here. So any people who casually pop in understand what is going on. And I think it's time to start protecting our peace.
Yes, please.
All right, here we go.
What or who is disturbing your peace? Try to identify the people and things that disrupt your calm when you encounter them. Notice your thoughts and what sensations you feel in your body.
Prompt number 2. Recall a recent situation where you said yes, but felt a heavy no inside. Describe the conflict between your desire to be accommodating and the cost to your mental energy afterward.
What do you imagine would happen if you actually enforced a boundary that protected your peace? Who would be disappointed, and what does that disappointment represent to you?
Imagine a mental space that is completely off limits to other people's problems or demands. What does it feel like to sit in that space for a moment? And what is the first thought that arises when you realize no one can reach you there?
What are some concrete steps you can take to protect your peace? How can you find support to help you follow through with them?
There it is. Couldn't find the button. All right.
Okay.
Hope everyone did well. Let us know how you did with those prompts in the chat and the comments. How'd you do, Alex?
Really well. This certainly got me thinking, and I know something we both reflected on while writing was, wow, we really need to talk to our therapist about a couple of things. He had therapy today, I have therapy tomorrow, and I was like, this is good timing because some stuff came up where I was like, you know what, I should take a look at that. I wasn't expecting to, come to this conclusion, but, again, I thankfully have the support from a therapist to help me navigate it. I think in terms of overall the biggest culprit disturbing my peace at this point in time is the news. I know I brought that up last week. This is also kind of what inspired this week's discussion. So, as an empathetic person, and I try to stay, up to date with what's going on in the world. But, again, with social media and all these, various media sources, it's too much. It's way too much. And, I need to learn how to navigate that, how to either turn my phone off, unfollow accounts. Like, I need to be a little more proactive on my end because I'm certainly feeding into it. And I follow all sorts of accounts that, have different perspectives on the crazy things going on in the world. But, it's too much. It's a lot.
I mean, and that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to like check out and not be helpful and contribute and, try to solve problems if you think you can solve them. But if you're trying to handle all of that at once, it's like, how could any person deal with that? And, with the way that the information is sent to us, it's like in these like little bite-sized packets. So like how are you supposed to like ascertain the totality of a situation in like a tweet? Like it's already condensed like for maximum like, crazy engagement impact and all that. And yeah, I mean, it's tough. I think I was steering myself away from like, not participating in some of that because like it feels existential. It feels like you have to be vigilant. It feels like, if you let your guard down, like you're just going to get swept away with all of it. And then, here I am a week after deleting a couple of the apps that were making me feel awful. And, I've got a whole other set of things that I journaled about, but that was, it was helpful to like kind of let go of that part of it a little bit.
And, definitely certain people came up for me as well. Obviously, we all have folks in our life that maybe, disrupt our peace at times. So it's just interesting. And the question about, what would it feel like to enforce a boundary around that? That's where the therapist is going to come in, because I realize I would be so uncomfortable. I would, I'm happy to express my opinion, but there's something about setting a boundary, especially with a loved one, someone you care about, that makes me extremely uncomfortable. And the people pleaser in me is not into it. But I want to kind of get back to my strong self,
You're great
my
at
powerful
setting boundaries,
self.
though.
I know, but there's something about this particular person I'm thinking about that for some reason I just want to shut down. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to stand up for myself. I don't want to, and it's like, that's the part where I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Like I'm comfortable setting boundaries with a lot of people in my life. Why is it that this particular person, is giving me that kind of feeling? So it's definitely something I would like to explore with my therapist tomorrow.
Alex is capable of setting boundaries with me with a single look.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, no, it's like when it comes to my husband and a lot of other people in my life, that's not the case, but this one particular person. So I'm very curious to maybe do a little EMDR on that, see what's going on there. So but I thought these were, of course, I love them because we made them, but they were very insightful, and I hope some of you have come up with some ways to set some boundaries and some steps we can take to do, the very least, and just bring our nervous systems.
Well, and if all you did was take a good look at what was going on under the hood, one of the things I try to let people know on these things is, and this is true for me too, like I often get the actual insight that I need like later in the week too. So like, don't feel bad if like you don't have all the answers right now either. Like just the fact that you've like chewed on this for a little while, like your brain is doing stuff in the background. And, it happens like I'll be doing laundry, folding clothes or something. I'm like, oh my God, that's the thing. But yeah, so I don't know.
So how'd you do? I'm assuming you know
how I did, because we were muted and I was like, oh my God, I was telling her all about my stuff. But mine was pretty enlightening for me because first off, I have a laundry list of things that will bother me, perturb me, throw me off course. And I actually feel like in recent years, I've gotten pretty good about being assertive and setting boundaries with all that stuff. But like the last half of this was super interesting because like, especially like the one where it's like, oh, you're in a mental space by yourself that nobody else can come in. Like, what is your first thought? And like, my first thought was like, it was me. It was me in there telling me all the stuff that I had to do and that I couldn't relax and that I had to do all these things or else. And it was like,
super interesting.
I'm the one that I need to set a boundary with. I need to set boundaries with myself. And like, even if I did have this, perfect sanctuary space, which I do, by the way, like nobody comes in my office and bothers me or anything like that. It's me in there. Like, I'm the one that has to deal with it. And it was, it was like, wow, all right, well, I'm surprised I haven't really like had that thought before because I mean, I think on some level, a lot of us know that like our negative self-talk is getting in the way or like we're in our own ways, self-sabotage or whatever. And this one's kind of sneaky, like, cause whatever it is, whether it's like my ego or whatever's going on in there, like it seems super helpful. Like it gets me out of bed every morning, makes me bust my ass on certain things. And it's like, okay, like that on the surface, like these are really good things that I like about myself even, but I talk about the therapy stuff today. What came up in my session was, how I really need to get back into doing, being more serious about like self-care. And so what my boundaries ended up looking like were boundaries against myself, where it's like, okay, like, how about I, start to put some of this stuff on the calendar and take it as seriously as I take my work and the stuff that I'm mentally flogging myself over. And I had this other realization, like, man, I'm like a bad boss to myself. I'm like I mean, I don't do a whole lot of client work these days anymore, but I mean, in days past, I mean, you'd hear me complain about like clients that were like, exploiting me or doing too much. And it's like, I'm doing like the worst of it. And so I got a lot to chew on. I mean, I've got some really great action steps. Fortunately, like with a little bit of awareness here, it's like, I mean, it's going to require some humility as well. And also me to like accept some of these insights, but it's pretty simple fix if I can just adhere to that. And, I think the effects would be obvious, right? Like who wouldn't benefit from taking self-care seriously when, you're burnt out or not feeling peace because of your own self? Like it's so easy, so obvious, but like if
easier
I didn't,
said than done, but yeah.
Sure. Yeah. But it's like, well, I'm glad that we took the time and created this space to do that because it's like, well, that's the kind of thing. It's like I'm always going to find some external thing that I can that I can blame it on. But when I remove all that, like it's even if I had my way, I'm still going to be in there.
Yeah.
So got to find ways to be able to handle that. See, we got
great insight.
Ton of comments here. So let me scroll up a little bit and see what we got. Got Kathy here, says, had a similar conversation with my therapist about this topic this morning. I'm still struggling with separating past experiences from today's expectations. Totally. I mean, and I totally feel you on that because I mean, with the stuff that I was just talking about, like that voice is only the way it is because of past experiences and the way that I internalized my own self-worth and value and the way things should be versus how things are showing up. And it's like that version, that's going to be different for everyone, but I totally get what you're saying. It's hard, we all collect these experiences and that's what we go off of. Like, of course, that's what you go off of. Like, this is what you've learned. And like, you coped with it however you did in the past, but, stuff keeps showing up regardless of, how we're doing. And so, yeah, I mean, it sounds like you're in good hands though. You've got a pro helping you kind of navigate the situation. So good.
Great insight.
Bring your insights into session. Geeky Witch says, agreed, it's way too much lately and I'm doom scrolling way too much, as we all are. We are just, we are easy, like fish in a barrel for these, these platforms and these marketers. And look, I mean, I'm guilty of it, right? I've made a comfortable living out of learning how to exploit these ad platforms for clients and companies that I've worked for. And like, they're not doing it for your health or their health. Like it is dollars and cents, and we are the product. Like there's a reason all these platforms that are entertaining us hours on end are free. Is because you're the product. You're the one getting sold for your impressions, and they've figured out that making us enraged keeps us glued to these things and clicking and spending more, earning more money for them on the ads and stuff. And so like,
and when I look away, I feel guilty, which is a part of it too. It's like the way it all works. It's just like, no wonder we just like erupt into rage all the time.
Deidre says, coming from a season of caregiving and being the responsible child, I figured out the why of needing peace and how to walk away from many things intentionally. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it boils down to that, is like actually just being intentional. Like once you see things for what they are, it's like, okay, well, here I am in the present with an understanding. We may have, even with limited understanding, you can still decide. You can still bring your awareness to any given moment and make a decision for yourself. And hopefully, it pays off. But it sounds like, based off what you're saying, you're kind of figuring that out, which is great.
And good self-care and understanding when you need that peace and when you need to walk away. I know, like with loved ones and stuff, and maybe having someone in your life that's, bringing this.
Well, you almost wrote a prompt about that.
Yeah. I wasn't quite sure how much I wanted to touch on it, but, especially when it comes to loved ones and stuff and being able to set boundaries with those people, like that is so powerful. And it takes a while to get to that point. But when you do, it's, continue to protect your peace, please.
Geeky Witch says, it's why I'm intentionally trying to get my online time focused on journaling, book reading, and cross-stitching to keep me off the socials. Yeah, and I've seen it, by the way. So, at least we see it. It's not just, this isn't something that you're just saying. It's cool to see that you're actually practicing that and not just, having the insight and doing nothing with it. Because that can be a trap with all this self-care stuff too, right? Like, I mean, I see it mostly like in like the personal growth side of things, right? Like people go to like Tony Robbins or these things and you get all riled up and it's like, yeah, tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and it's like, well, you're still you, wherever you go, there you are. But, kudos to Geeky Witch, because I have seen her backing that up, and it's really cool to see.
Good for you, Melissa.
Sherry says, I found out I have black mold in my vent system in my rental, and it explains why I have been so sick for a year. Oh my goodness. I am waiting for legal counsel to move forward, and the waiting is stressing me out. Yeah.
I can only imagine. That's
when your health is on the line, right?
Seriously, that is so frustrating. I'm so sorry you were going through that. I know people that have dealt with mold poisoning and it destroyed their health. So I am so sorry to hear that. And the stress of waiting for people to come in and take care of it and solve the problem, that's so frustrating. I had a mold issue in a previous apartment when I was younger, and they were, they did not help me out, basically, and I had to get myself out of there. So that is very unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, hopefully you're getting the resources that you need to take care of it. I mean, that's a serious health issue and concern. So glad you figured that out, before it got any worse. And yeah, I mean, we hope that pans out. That sucks. I created a terrible mold situation in our house. I flushed a toilet that just decided to not stop going, and I left, and we had someone come in to check out something else that was going on in that room, and I opened the door and it was like all flooded. I'm like, oh no, I totally created that situation. So I don't know why I took us on that aside. I mean, I guess it was related, but a little humor at my expense. Always make sure it was one of those that it wasn't a handle flusher. It was one of the button flushers, and it got stuck. The little button got stuck, and so the water.
So was it really your fault?
Kept coming. I mean, it was. I should. Well, and now I know to watch and make sure it pops up. You live, you learn.
Sherry, keep advocating for yourself, because your health should absolutely be a priority. And I mean, I remember my management company would push back and be like, we'll be there when we get there. So no, just,
Well, and I mean, there's it sounds like you already have legal counsel, but you know, there's damages if people don't take care of that for you.
Yes, please. Best of luck.
Linda says, thank you, Alex and Alex. Great prompts. I'm so glad I could join this evening. Have to jump off, finish up a project before morning. Love you all. Well, we love you, Linda.
Yeah,
Linda's
absolutely.
been with us like since the very first one of these. So, you know, I know you're already checked out, but Linda, we love you. And thank you so much for showing up. Carrie says, I tend to be a people pleaser and it can be so draining. I worry about straining relationships if I don't say yes, which in turn makes me upset with myself for not standing up for myself more. Totally. I suffer from that as well, you know, because I somewhere along the way internalized that I would get love from like accolade and achievement and helping people and stuff like that, which you do. Like, it's just, you know, people value things that are valuable and you are inherently valuable. I mean, one of the things that I was kind of taking note of in here is like, I very recently bit off a little more than I could chew to try to be a little bit of a people pleaser about it. Cause you know, people were being really nice. Oh, you're the only one that can help us and all this other stuff. And it's like, okay, you know, that kind of attention feels really good, but you know, I knew it was one of those hard no's on the inside. And, you know, by the time that like it actually became a problem though, it became like way more difficult to say no to and to get out of than it would have been if I had just, you know, realized that in the first place. So, I mean, I know we don't all have the same situations or whatever, and your people pleasing may show up a little bit differently, but recent lesson that I had to learn is like, oh, like it's way worse if you actually say the yes and then have to like renege later. Than it would have been if you
just rip that Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
Just do it. Honestly.
Yeah, don't be afraid to advocate for yourself.
Absolutely.
Mary says, I plan to limit time with energy vampires and stop stressing myself out about not finishing certain checklists. Yeah, well, I'm be interested to know if they're your checklists or if they're informed by, you know, other people's expectations of you, because that I know it can be a little bit of a trap. And yeah, the energy vampire thing is for real. Like, I mean, you were touching on that. Like, there's certain people like you kind of have to, you know, at least while they're being that way, like you have to realize what it is and protect yourself from that. So
there was a period in my life where, you know, I was just all sorts of people were in my business and it was really stressing me out, and my physical health was, you know, in the dumpster. And, you know, I had to at one point just like block a bunch of people from my life. And you know, it's one of those things where like when you're in a very, you know, vulnerable place, like I didn't handle it well. I actually just kind of stopped talking to people, and, you know, it was a survival tactic, and I did what I did. But to this day, I still look back and I'm just like, I really wish I had dealt with it a little more adult-like. And
what would that look like?
That would be like having a conversation with those people and explaining, hey, listen, you know, I wish you the best of luck, but this is not for me anymore. This is not, you know,
gosh, that sounds so uncomfortable.
I know. So what I did was I just like stopped talking to them. And one day they're like, hey, what's going on? And I just kind of ripped into them. And it's like that there's, you know, I'd like to think that at this age, you know, I would have,
more proactive.
Exactly.
It doesn't even mean that you have to like, you know, be tough about it.
No, like, exactly. It could just be like, you know what, listen, I think we're on different pages here and that's okay. And I wish you the best of luck, but, you know, I need to step away.
Let us know if anybody's navigated situations like that gracefully.
Yeah.
That sounds so terrifying.
Because I dealt with it horribly, and to this day, I regret that. So, yeah.
Well, good luck, Mary. We know we know you can handle it for sure.
Yeah, you got it.
Kathy says, childhood trauma and boundaries between being a parent and caretaker stresses me out the most. Would I be a selfish mom if I pushed my boundaries and need for space?
I don't think you would be a selfish mom, but exactly. But I mean, the dynamic of being in a family and an immediate family and those dynamics and stuff, I you know, it's hard no matter what. And, you know, something that in my family we have done is my father has passed away, but he was kind of the, how does one put it? He was kind of the source of a lot of tension in our lives. And, and when he died, all sorts of things bubbled up for all of us. And we have for many years now been doing family therapy. And, whenever there are some harder discussions that need to be had, we do it in a therapeutic setting. And I know that's not an option for everyone, and not everyone is, will sign on, but it's been really beneficial for our family because, when you're dealing with grief and you're dealing with certain situations, that you can be ripped apart. And it's nice knowing that we were able to repair that, and we are now, a unit again, and it's a beautiful thing. So I have to say, like, a family therapy situation is so beneficial. That's all I gotta say.
I mean, and also, Kathy, I, know a little bit about your situation too. And it's like, I think, first off, obviously good that you're already in therapy, and, that would be a question to ask them, because I know in your situation, not only as a parent, but, a caretaker, where like you're dealing with, other humans that are, maybe a little bit more sensitive, or have more needs than, your standard relationship in that sense. And that's got to be so tough to navigate. So, props to you for, like, we know you're a good human. You show up, we love you. So, like, I know that, like, all right, you're doing something right. And, it also sounds like you've got the help that you need for that. And good on you for even having these thoughts.
I was going to say that too. Like, some people just keep sweeping it under the rug, and so good for you for even acknowledging.
Some people don't care. And like, it's a sign that there's love there, and that you care. And like, look, none of us are going to knock it out of the park every single time, but like, ultimately, like, it's your life too. Right. And so, I think
make yourself a priority, please. You deserve it.
And you'll find a way. But, that's the kind of thing where it's like, all right, when it gets that complex, that's exactly why there are professionals to help you navigate these things, because there's people who have gone to school for this and figured out these things and read the case studies, and they
I love a good professional.
Oh, so good. Thank goodness. I mean, and whether it's mental health or like, gosh, sometimes I know how to do like marketing and make apps and stuff, but like sometimes I look around, like I'm in a city, and it's like, I can't believe there's people who know how to like make bridges and buildings and stuff. Like, you need there to be people with other, competencies and stuff like that, because it's like, all right, it allows you to do you and be you. But like, when something, comes up where it needs that expertise, like, thank goodness there's such a diverse set of human beings on this planet that we can go and get the help that we need when we need it. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
Good luck with all that, Kathy.
For sure. Mary says, accountability is still needed to finish some things, but giving myself grace will help protect peace. For sure. I mean, I resonate with that as well. Obviously, I'm my own worst enemy in a lot of ways, but like, I don't consider the relationship that I have with myself adversarial. That said, I definitely need to give myself more grace. Like, dude, take a nap if you're tired, like stuff like that. Like, and it's hard. And I think in my case, it's, it's easy to convince myself that certain things have higher stakes than they are. It's like, for me, it's a lot of like getting over myself and checking my ego and not being so self-important. I don't think that's what's showing up for you necessarily, Mary. But, I certainly know that beating yourself up when you don't have answers, or, things aren't going the way that you expected, it never works. Right. And so, if you need accountability, drop it in the group. Say what you're working on, and we can check in on that. And, like there's so many different ways that you can get what you need, and, whether it's community or, from yourself. But obviously you've taken some time to check in with yourself, and it's like, okay, you need a little bit of accountability. Like, I got you. Right? Like, say what you're working on. I know, as somebody who's, working on similar things, like in my own lane and by myself, it can get incredibly lonely. And, it's like, all right, like who helps dust you off when, something doesn't work out, or who high fives you when something does work out. Right. So it is good to, to find some community around that. And so, I'm sorry that our accountability group has, I kind of like sunsetted that while we've been building the app here, but we're definitely going to be building more spaces for us to, kind of find find and get what we need out of this whole practice. There's obviously so many different ways and directions you can take it, but I find that it gets really interesting when you explore this journey with other people. And so we're going to definitely make it so you can create your own things and create your own groups and stuff like that. And I just knowing you, I know you're going to be a-okay just fine, and you deserve that grace that you're identifying that you need. Kathy says, I feel like Guy Alex, because it's me that self-sabotage. It's the people pleaser in me and trying to achieve acceptance that I didn't get as a kid or was ridiculed for because it was innately me. Yeah. I feel that so much. I know, we all come from different walks of life, but like sometimes it also feels like there's just like this thread that's like, it's so similar.
I know, part of that I'm like, me too.
Yeah. And so, you're definitely not alone in that. And, it's like, I think, look, half the battle is just like identifying that, right? So many of us walk around like zombies, like, just getting triggered by different things and, reacting to things. And it's like, all right, like we all have the ability to kind of check in, see what's going on. And all right, in any given moment with some presence and some awareness, it's like you can choose to engage with the world around you however you want to. And obviously informed by whatever insights that you're pulling. And I mean, if you're like me, probably just need to be a little bit nicer to yourself, probably just need to give yourself some time to rest and like it's easy for me to say because I see it in myself. And I'm like, it's nice though, because hearing it from other people, it's like, oh, okay, like, well, I'm definitely not going to beat myself up over it as much as I, might have. And so it's like, all right, like this is par for the course. It's part of the human experience. And it's like, all right, well, that's great. And now I'm excited to like kind of change things up a little bit because like I've seen that that's what I need. So, we'll see how I do on next week's Journal Party. Carrie says, yes, my doom scrolling has been out of control over the past week or so. It's not healthy at all. Yeah. I mean, and I don't think you're alone in that either. Like I don't think it's, it would come, I don't know how I articulate this. It's obviously like a little inflamed.
Yes.
Like,
yeah. Let's all acknowledge like there's significantly more going on, a lot of moving pieces, and it is hard to look away. It really, really is. Especially when things are so intense and you want to be aware and you want to understand what's going on, but it's too much. It's too much. No matter what, we're not designed as humans to deal with like this amount of information coming at us constantly, being able to pick up our phones, open an app and have, images and videos and horrible things kind of thrown in our faces, and it's like, again, on the one hand, I want to stay informed. I want to know what's going on. I want to see it for myself so I understand, how serious the situation is, but I'm learning I need to obviously set boundaries with my social media use, unfollowing certain accounts, muting certain accounts. Like, I'm with the big stuff, I'm going to see it. I have some breaking news, stuff that I will see it, but I don't need to necessarily swim in it constantly.
Yeah. Well, because there's not like, and in that state that like we all, probably a lot of us could get to after swimming in it, like nobody's helping anybody in that state.
My heart's racing, my nervous system is shot. I'm not as nice of a person as I normally am just because I'm just feeling all these things, and but
also don't feel gaslit. It is insanely insane right now.
Yeah, no, like, right now particularly, it's just as
it's
crazy.
It's not normal.
Yeah, it's not normal.
It's not normal, and I think it's okay to call that out.
To acknowledge that for sure.
But none of us, by losing our heads about it, are going to.
That's not going to help the situation whatsoever. Right?
But we're in agreement, and you know what? Like, I think just personally, I have a few beliefs that have been helpful for me to kind of lean on when things get a little bit trickier like this. And one is that there is a creative solution to every problem, no matter how intense or big that problem is. So, find ways to spark your creativity and show up as the unique human that you are. And also speaking of that unique human that you are, I also believe that we're all uniquely gifted in this world, and that, you know, if you can discover those gifts, that's probably your best bet for, you know, making a mark in a way that is going to leave the world a better place, at least one that doesn't so closely resemble like the horrors that, you know, you're being constantly fed. And so, like, really, like, the only place you're going to get in touch with that is within. And so, you know, it's tough because there are all these platforms so good at, you know, feeding you those little dopamine hits, so that, you know, like, oh, I got to find out what's going on over here. Oh, what's going on over here? What did they say? Oh, I can't believe they said that, you know. And it's like, you could do that forever. They design it so that you will do that forever. And, you know, and so many of us today as well. I mean, this is like a crazy thing. Like, for me, like, you know, the whole AI thing has been really interesting. I love it on one hand because I'm able to, it helps me to like build apps like this, right? Like, I can build the next version of Journal Party that's going to be amazing. It is already, you know, something amazing, and I'm super proud of it. The flip side of that, though, is that all of these things are controlled by people who don't have your best interest at heart, and they will try to normalize these things that I agree with you are 100% not normal, and the things that kind of keep you glued to this thing. So just realize, like, all right, like, everybody's they're not, it's not even everybody, like, it's sometimes just entities, right? Like, there's different motives, and there's different agendas and narratives, and very rarely are they yours, right? So I think a lot of it also is just like, all right, let's have some agency about this. Like, I recognize this is happening, okay, but like, check in, you know, go within. And I think that's where the answers are. But if you find the answers, let me know.
Yeah, right. Like, if you figure out, like, yeah.
Patricia says, number 5, love the turtle.
Cute.
I will just tuck inside my own little shell of an apartment and chill and know I am safe here. Yeah, look, you know, it's funny, the music, we're actually recycling tonight's music from a program that Alex wrote, you know, about safe spaces. And I think, you know, that can be a way to protect your peace, you know. Yes. Find these places where you have sanctuary, whether it's, you know, with others or yourself, whether it's virtual and digital, or whether it is physical and, you know, smothered in blankets and, you know, pillows and all that stuff. Like, whatever that is for you. Like, what's the Corona thing? Find your beach. Now I want a beer. But yeah, like, I think you got to get okay before you can try to make your world okay, if that makes any sense. Geeky Witch says, yeah, you don't mess with black mold. Oof. Nope. Yeah. Carrie says, I love that analogy to ripping off the Band-Aid and saying no right up front. Would save me so much stress and anxiety. I'm going to try to remember that. Yeah, ripping off the Band-Aid, right? A little bit of pain. And I mean, look, I don't know how that shows up for you. I can only speak to my own experience. But like, right, like I was just complaining about how I, you know, said yes to something that led to an extended engagement that was very painful to rip off. And it's like, the reality is it wouldn't have even been a painful thing if I said no in the first place. They would have been like, oh wow, like, yeah, we, you know, they would have valued me even more. And instead, you know, it ended up
people do respect when you set those boundaries, and you're confident and secure in where you're at. You know, it's interesting how that happens, where people sometimes, like, you don't get that big reaction of like, what are you talking about? They're just like, okay, fair enough,
makes sense.
You're like, oh yeah. So, you know, again, it doesn't need to be a big, mean, abrupt ripping of the Band-Aid, but it could just be like, you know what, no.
Yeah. Pause.
Yeah.
Sherry says, thank you for these Wednesday nights. I set a boundary with others so I can journal with all of you. Oh, that's amazing.
We love that. Love to hear that.
Well, and soon, you know, we're going to be having these things going on around the clock, not always with video, but on the new site, there's going to be all sorts of sessions, different days of the week, different times, different time zones and stuff. And so you can find your own little cohort, your own little clique within it. And, you know, do these things when it's more comfortable. But even, you know, it warms my heart that you set a boundary for us. Love that.
Yes, right.
Kathy said, concrete steps, shutting off my phone for an hour every day, getting out of my pen, paper, and music to brain dump.
Very
putting a sign, maybe a lock on my bedroom door, get out and walk in nature. Yeah, I need to do that.
Do all of these things, please. Yeah, that is so powerful, everything you just said. That I'm going to go ahead and copy that.
And all
myself.
easy and accessible stuff,
Yes.
right?
And it makes all the difference in the world, and just the shift you feel once you've gone on that walk, once you've written, something or made some space for yourself. Alex and I definitely, I really appreciate having a partner that understands I need space. You need space. We take our space. I just love that it's understood. Like, there are times where it's like things are a little intense. I'm, a little overstimulated. I just need a break, and it's nothing personal. It's, so please, like, self-care. Talk about self-care.
And it's not, you're right. It's nice that, like, our circumstances make it easy. It's nice that my partner makes it easy. But, like, we also, like, I mean, it sounds like your situation is complicated as well. And so it's like, all right, well, these things are all within reach and easy and awesome. But, like, one thing that kind of came to mind is reading this, because I was like, yeah, like I need to do all those things too, but, like, how am I going to, like, really get myself to do it, right? So, like, for me, I'm going to be putting stuff on the calendar, but also, like, I need affirmation. I think I might, like, even borrow the whole protect your peace thing as like an affirmation. Like, nope, like, we're protecting our peace today. Like, whatever you need, like, make sure, like, you don't
every day, guys,
lose the importance of
peace.
what you're asserting here, because it is important. It will pay off. And they're like, just because we get these insights and realizations of the world doesn't stop, right? So you have to find ways to, like, if you're going to go for it, I challenge you to go for it, because I know it's going to be a challenge for me, but I think it's going to be worth it. Oh, Gabby joined us.
Hi, Gabby.
What's up, Gabby? In art history. Cool.
Nice. Art history is super interesting.
Mary says, setting timers for social media doom scrolling.
Yep.
Yeah. They even have those, like, physical devices now. You ever seen the Brick device? I keep getting ads for it. I need to just buy it or something. But there's, like, a physical device that will, like, block the those things from your phone if you can't. Because I've tried the screen time thing, and, like, I override it. I end up like, it's really important.
Yeah.
Gabby says, my boundary this year is actually reading more art history for my college class.
Nice.
Concentrating on quietness for online class. Awesome.
Good for you.
Yeah, and art can be, I mean, what a nice way. My things that I was coming up with were, like, exercise and meditation and stuff, but, like, art, like, super cool way to
absolutely
find some zen, find some peace. Very cool. Yeah. Or maybe some nice tunes. We should get some, like, journal party playlists going. I don't even have Spotify anymore. You do, though,
yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Does everyone do Spotify? Like, what's everyone's, like, music platform of choice? I mean, I guess we could make playlists on all of them, but I feel like some official journal party playlists would be in order. Coming soon. We can all kind of get on the same page.
Think about it.
Yeah, think about it. Let me just give myself more to dos. You see how this works?
Yeah. This is not protecting your peace. It's just another task.
He's sneaky.
I'll talk about it. But okay, Gabby's on Spotify.
Well,
okay.
the nice thing about those is that they're communal. So, like,
that
Gabby,
is true. Yeah.
Maybe hook it up with some art recommendations and some songs to jam out to. We know you're always good for a good share in the group. So yeah, I don't know. Don't let me give you homework, but if you're feeling up to it. Toby Mac. Okay.
Nice.
Gabby's got the hits. All right. Awesome. Spotify there too, says Carrie. Awesome. All right, folks. Well, we're 7 after 7 here on the Pacific coast here. So I think it's about time for us to wrap up. Alex has ordered us some vegan food. Alex is vegan.
Yay!
Is what it is.
Everyone loves a vegan. Yes, it just arrived too, so perfect timing.
Well, I am hungry, and I'm going to let this food nourish my soul so I can have a nice, peaceful, relaxing sleep. Folks, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your evening, rest of your week, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so
as
much.
Always,